I'm pretty sure we are. So, hello everyone, and welcome to Super Close Racing League, and we are here at the Zandvoort circuit. We are here for round 4, and we're gonna get qualifying 1, 2, and 3. Just as I think it's as usual in a Super Close Racing League. But I'm Avenged Alfie 1, 2, 3. I am new to commentary in this league. I am experienced as well, so I'm glad to have joined tonight. So 2 will get knocked out, and then Q2 will have 5 getting knocked out, and then obviously Q3 is our top 10 shootout. I can't hear the cars for some reason. I'll sort that out. Actually, can't hear the cars for some reason. Turn that up to 8 or something. Right, here we are. We've got the car sound up and running now. So, Optimal is going to start his first qualifying lap here at the Zandvoort circuit. So, turn 1 then for the Aston Martin. And it's only bankers. So, Q1 is Qs 1 and 2 is all about the knockout stages and stuff like that. So, laps are not going to be as important as Q2 unless you're a lower down runner trying to fight to get into Q2 or 3. But the first man to set a lap is the Aston Martin of UFR Optimal, who's obviously set the purple first sector, but we don't know if that will stand for short just as of yet. So we're now coming through the middle sector. Very easy to lock up the brakes through that hairpin. There's yellow flags running around in sector 1 currently. Half the people now on an outlap, and that's a 50.5 in the middle sector then for the Aston Martin. We'll see what his final lap time is, as now he's coming around the penultimate corner into now the final corner, which is the banking. Now isn't as dangerous as it used to be back in Monza 1966, but what's it going to be? It's a 112.5 there for the Aston Martin, so good stuff there, and that is your first lap of qualifying here tonight. And we'll go to someone else. I think it's the Mercedes of George. Lewis has just set a lap of 119.2. That's not the fastest yet. That's not the fastest he can do yet, but George is now coming around the final corner. This is definitely not the fastest he can do yet, so his will be a 122.3. That puts him P3 so far. So we look at Liam in the AlphaTauri. I think, no, that is not on a lap. He's on a lap. He's just currently spun. That could have actually distracted him, but that is not going to be a proper lap yet, so that will be about a 128. Yes, it is. That puts him P4. L2, he goes 111.2, goes the second clear of Optimal. Yeah, so not a bad lap. We look at Kira May now. He's actually on the mediums, so he's looking to set a right banker lap, and that middle sector would have been quite slow since he's on the mediums, and his ERS is looking a bit low as well, so he could be facing a at least a P3, P2. A P1 might not be possible at this stage. It's P3 for the Red Bull rated, goes up to P3 himself. Fitz goes up to P2 of a 111.9, so the laps are now starting to fly in. We're looking at Jaffa Jake then in the Alpine, now coming through the middle sector. He's getting let by, I think that was Liam actually, in the AlphaTauri. As now it comes through the hairpin. Easy to lock up, as I said. Middle sector then. He's on the mediums as well, such as Kieran was. It's a 50.7 in the middle sector then for the Alpine. So, the top, I'd say, between 6th maybe to 2nd is quite close. Jaffa Jake then is coming around the final corner. What's it going to be then for the Alpine? It's going to be a 112.7. That puts him P7, so not a bad lap there at all. Vax then, he's just currently started a lap. We'll ride on his onboard actually. Oh no, he's on an outlap. I couldn't see that. I thought it was on the lap. Kostya then in the Haas. He's on the lap. Same with Tomas, who's now coming around the final corner. He's on also a set of mediums. He goes up into P6 ahead of Kieran. Half the runners have, well, I'd say most of the runners have gone onto softs. And you can tell there by a 1:11.2. I think that is a banker lap, unless it was just a fast lap already from L2. We'll go all the way down to Kostya then, who's set a 50.8 in the middle sector. Obviously not the quickest, because L2 obviously set the quickest middle sector. Sunsky is gone 1:11.8. So there's a big gap between first and second at the moment of 6/10 at least. And now the Haas comes round the final corner. It's going to be a 1:12.8 that only puts him P10. So he's still a bit in trouble, but could find some more time at least. I reckon. Obviously, only 2 are going to get knocked out, so it's very hard to depend as well. So Vaxen is coming through the middle sector. Just trying to load up the chat. Opens that DRS. Went through the hairpin. Middle sector 49.8. So that's purple in the middle sector for the Mercedes. Let's see what else he can do. Vax comes round the bank. What's it going to be? Is it going to be quicker than L2? That is the main question. No, but the times are getting closer. That's a 1:11.5 there for the Mercedes. So times are going to get closer now to L2 in the Ferrari. People just waiting till the end of Q1. Just to go out for a lap. I think Thomas has started another lap on a set of mediums. He's ridden the curb a little bit there. He's lost a lot of time because he's just got a snap of oversteer, so that has ruined his second run. Optimal, I think he's gone for another lap. No, I can't tell with the F1 game today whether it's an out lap or an in lap, or a hot lap, but I think he has just started a new lap. So as he runs into turn 1, we'll ride on his on board since he is the ones on a lap through the banking now in the first sector. Not the only banking here at Zandvoort. Very easy to get it all wrong. The traction as well, the straight line now. You can get it all wrong as well if you're not paying attention. Now through the slingshot. Didn't quite read his first sector, but oh well. Now in the middle sector. Through the hairpin he comes now. We'll see what the Aston Martin can do. Lewis has left the session. I think that is just typical F1 22 for you. And the middle sector is currently 2/10 up, but that is not a purple middle sector indeed. What's this final sector? What's this overall lap going to be then for the Aston Martin? Comes round the penultimate corner now, round the final banking, which is also the final corner. Takes a shortcut line down onto the pit straight. It's P7 with a 12.3, so not a bad lap there at all. Pushes him further up into the top 10, but he's only P7, so times can still go on. Thomas has binned it. He's gone into the, I think he went into the wall, close to the banking around the penultimate corner. Foles then in the Alfa Romeo. We'll see what he can do as a middle sector. It's a 50.5, so not a bad middle sector then for the Alfa Romeo. See what else he can do as well. Now through the penultimate corner, the banking, it's very easy to get it all wrong through the banking. F1 2021, it was very easy to spin. I don't know why, unless that was just me, but that's a 12.4. That puts him into the top 10 here in qualifying 1. So not a bad lap there at all. Service then, he's just started a lap. What's this first sector going to be then for the Williams? It's a 24.8 in the first sector. Vax has retired from the session. He knows that he will be safe. That's for certain. I don't think anyone will be able to beat that 11 point. Well, I'm pretty sure people will be able to beat that 11.5, but I'm for sure he is indeed safe. What's this middle sector then for service? It's a 49.7. He goes purple in the middle sector, so this could be close to P1 and 2. Could be in between like a 111.34. Who knows? There's yellow flags running around in sector 2, but what can service do now? Coming around the final corner, onto the straight, rear wing open. Is it P1? It's P2. So I told you it would have been an 11.3 at least. So that's putting him in between L2 and Vax. So I said someone will beat Vax this time, and that would be service. We're just waiting for people now. Liam currently 2/10 up on his first sector time, and now through the middle sector through the slingshots. We'll see what else he can do in this middle sector now, coming up to the hairpin, braking at the 50-metre board. Now getting that rear wing open. No, I didn't think he got that rear wing open, but he's still going 3/10 up on his middle sector. Now through the hairpin and then down into the penultimate corner. What can the AlphaTauri do? Liam comes round the final corner, which is the banking. Gets the rear wing open. Now it's going to be an 12.0, so that puts him P7 ahead of the Ferrari of rated. So not a bad lap there at all for the AlphaTauri. And now Foles is 3/10 up on his middle sector. Let's see what else the Alfa Romeo can do. Now comes around the penultimate corner once again. See what he can do as a lap on his overall lap. Now coming around the final corner on the banking. What can the Alfa Romeo do? Is it into the top 10? Yes, it is. It's P4. Not a bad lap there at all. Right then, as we wait for the final laps to be done here in qualifying 1, people have waited since the start of qualifying 1 to come out again for a soft run, such as Kieran May. Thomas should be coming out any time soon. He's definitely not safe at the moment. Which Conio now in the Alfa Romeo coming through the first sector at the banking. The first banking on the track now through the straight, which can kind of catch you out a little bit if you don't know the track that well. First sector, 25.0 in the first sector then for the Alfa Romeo. Now through the slingshots, very easy to get it all wrong, getting yourself on the gravel, too much on the throttle. Braking at the 50-metre board, easy to lock up here, unless you're using the ABS. So unless you have ABS off, you get that rear wing open for the Alfa Romeo. Middle sector is a 50.2, so he's looking to get himself out of that bottom 2. So people are going to fight their way out into Q2, but it's going to be very tough for some drivers. Twitch Conio though, what can he set through the banking, which is the final corner, get that rear wing open onto the pit straight. It's the top 10 for the Alfa Romeo, P9 with a 112.059, so it's very close at the moment between 4th and 10th. So time's looking pretty decent at the moment. So Lewis and McLaren of Ewig, they are, so they need to get a move on fast if they want to get into Q2. Ewig has invalidated, so he's got to go again. That was a 12.3, which was invalidated though, so that lap will not count. This is his possible final push lap, so he's got to really make it count now. So this is his real chance, his only chance. Fitz goes up to P3 over 111.5 ahead of Vax, so not bad there at all for the Red Bull. But this man we need to look at most importantly, because he's struggled on his first lap. He's got barely any ERS to play with, so he's going to really struggle on this one. So he's got to really get a move on. Kira May in the other Red Bull goes up to P3, so times are really getting closer now, and he's 15 seconds up on his middle sector time. So he could be in a chance of getting into Q2, especially without any ERS. So this will be very lucky if he does get into Q2. But round the final corner he comes anyway, onto the straight, rear wing open. It's going to be a 13.6, so he stays in the bottom two, which would be very annoying since he has no ERS. So it looks like his qualifying will be over. But let's not keep an eye on him for now. I think Lewis is going to get knocked out as well. But Eric needs to do something fast if he can get himself into Q2. He's down on his first sector. I think this is game over here for the McLaren. You can see he's got no ERS yet again, and he's about 8/10 down on P16. So this is real game where he gets a snap of oversteer. So this is really over for him now. And yeah, so that is it. See what his middle sector's like. For, yeah, 1.4 down. He's definitely getting knocked out here in qualifying one. So it's unfortunate for the McLaren. He tried his awful best to get into Q2. Lewis, he tried to get himself into Q2 as well. Jaffa Jake, Tom Oz, Optimal, Kossia, they just survive. And Eric is knocked out. So there are your runners gone for qualifying this evening. And then you'll get the bottom 5 knocked out as well. So the bottom 5 looking pretty tight at the moment. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, waiting for Sunski to get a move on into the pit lane. And Jaffa Jake also. So L2 then, he wins it out in qualifying 1. And we'll be back shortly for qualifying 2. Actually, just quickly the grid rundown then. But the only 2 that we need to focus on is Lewis and Eric. So Eric just had no ERS. He would have got himself into Q2 if he didn't invalidate his first lap. But that's life, unfortunately. You have to get on and deal with it. Lewis just wasn't the pace just wasn't there for him. About 1 to 2/10 down. So that is also his qualifying over. So next is Q2, and yep, you'll get 5 out in qualifying this time, not just 2. So the bottom 5, which is, well, let's not read it until Q2. So don't know why I said bottom 5. To be fair, but we'll see if as well, guys. If you want to go watch the Tier 3 stream, also currently live. They're in Q2 at the moment, so we're just heading right into Q2 now. So we're just waiting on the game. So yeah, if you want to go watch Tier 3 as well, which is live. Tier 2 was yesterday, which wasn't streamed, so that's unfortunate. But luckily tonight is streamed for Tiers 1 and 3. So yeah, now it's all down to the bottom 5, which is from 11th to 15th. So it's got to keep an eye on those guys. We'll see who will be the driver at risk toward the end of qualifying as well. So people are now just coming out for a lap. So in Q2 we've got Conyo, Optimal, George, Jaffa Jake, Liam, Bowles, Vax, Kossia, L2, Kieran, Tomoz, Fitz, Service, Rated, and Sunsky as well. So we've got to remember to put up all the details back up, because it's now a different qualifying session, which I do sometimes forget about quite a lot in other leagues that I'm commentating, but luckily I have not forgotten about that today. That's just telemetry anyway. That's what you need to know on who's up and down on their time, but there's no up and down on out laps and first laps. So it's the second laps that count more. So half the grid, well, most of the grid are on an outlap. So we'll check what tyres they're all on just quickly. They're all on the softs, so nothing special there at all. And we just await till someone starts the lap, so we just gotta keep our eyes peeled on who's the first one. It is indeed L2 who was the first one. Also in Q1, it was P1 in Q1, so I'm expecting him to get P1 in Q2. So, but things can change, as there is a spinner of a Haas, and it is Tomoz who's invalidated on his outlap, but that doesn't really matter too much. He just needs to get the actual lap done. Keep our eyes peeled on L2, who goes 24.7 in that first sector, so the times are going to get quicker as qualifyings and minutes go on. So it's just the wait till he gets the lap done. So the Ferrari then, what's that middle sector? It's a 49.6 in the middle sector then for the Scuderia Ferrari. Well, we'll see what else he can do now on the final sector. Now around the penultimate corner. Now the banking is just now. So round the final corner at the bank. Is it going to be P1 again? Obviously, but will he keep that P1 status? It's a 0.2 once again for L2. Sunsky goes 3/10 behind with a 111.5. Optimal goes 111.9, so that's the fastest we've seen him tonight. Very good lap there from the Aston Martin. Vax goes P2. Rated goes P2, so he makes it a Ferrari 1-2 here in Q2, which all makes sense. Conyo, he goes P8, but it gets bumped down to P9. I think Kira went to P7, so that would have bumped him down. Service has gone P6. George is on a lap. He's getting held up, I think, by a Ferrari. That Ferrari needs to move out the way. He's going to get that slipstream, which is not what the Ferrari wants, but I don't think it will be the best of middle sectors anyway. It's quite close. It's a 50.1, but I don't think it will touch. I think he will get top 5 if he keeps it all together. He just needs to nail all the corners and time it all to perfection as he now comes around the final corner at the banking. Down the straight, rear wing open. Is it any close? It's P7. No, it's not anywhere close to the top 5. But it's separated by 2,000s between Optimal and George. Fitz then, what can he do? Ride on is on board for the moment, as now he's just got the final two corners, the penultimate corner and the banking. Let's see what his third and final sector is. And his overall lap, obviously, but what is it? It's 111.4. That puts him P4. Not bad at all there for the Red Bull. We're just waiting on two people to set a lap time. I think they're saving a set of tyres for the end of qualifying. So 10 minutes to go then of qualifying 2. So yeah, we're just waiting. For people to set new laps. I think they're all going to be on in laps now, and we've just got to wait for them to come straight back out and set another lap. So that could be until 2 minutes 40 at least to go. So yeah, the ones currently getting knocked out is Jaffa Jake, Liam, Conyo, Fowles and Kostya. So yeah, Kieran also the driver at risk. He didn't set a too good of a lap. He's now on an out lap as well. Sunsky, he's on an out lap as well. They feel they will not be safe going into Q3, but they think they're not going to be safe to get into Q3. So they're going to go again. Kieran's definitely not safe, so he will definitely be going again. Jaffa Jake will definitely improve, same with Liam, same with Konya. Bals and Kostya still without a lap time, so they'll definitely get themselves into the top 10. So it's going to be very close, but yeah, we'll have to see what happens there on. So now Kieran, I think Arctic Sunsky. Couldn't get my words out there. As the Williams heads through turn 1, we'll ride on his onboard actually as we take him on through a lap in the Williams. The Williams is very much a nice car. I do like the car indeed. It's got a nice landscape to it. But anyway, forget about delivery. We're focusing on this qualifying 2 lap that Sunsky has to set. He's currently 100th down on his first sector. He needs to get a good middle and final sector. So this is where it really counts now for the Williams. Kieran's also started his new lap. He'll be definitely improving because that is definitely not his best lap time. Middle sector, Sunsky goes 3/10 up in the middle sector. And now the penultimate corner and the banking once again. I'm pretty sure a load of overtakes are going to come through this banking and onto the pit straight here this evening. What's it going to be for Sunsky? It's going to be P1. Very nice lap there by at least 1.5 tenths. That is very nice indeed for the Williams. But can Kieran May match it by any chance? No, he can't. He is way down on his lap, so he is definitely going to be a man that is going to be very uncomfortable. But I think he might go again, so he's 9 seconds down on his personal best. So we'll ride on his onboard as well. Why not take him through a lap then, through turns 2 and 3. Now coming through turn 4 at the banking. And now turns 5, 6 and 7. Now very easy to catch you up if you have driven Zandvoort for the first time, which I'm pretty sure Little Racers haven't driven Zandvoort for the first time. I think it should have been at least their 100th time. So yeah, anyway, through the hairpin comes Kieran. There's a bit of lag there. I don't know whether that was me or Kieran. Can't really tell. Might have been Kieran, but he's 6/10 up on his middle sector time. So this could be a very, very good lap here from Kieran. We'll see what he does now. Now he's just got the final. Oh, it gets very close on the limit there. Round the final corner, he comes what can the Red Bull set. Is it any closer to Sunski? It's P6, so he's put himself out of that bottom 5. Is very, very close at the moment, but I don't think he is safe yet, so times are still yet to come. Kosya, which I didn't catch actually, he's gone up to P13, so not a good lap at all from the Haas. He is in deep trouble at the moment, so it could be game over for him. Fouls, he's now on an out lap. He's waited from the start of qualifying, so he's just got to get a good lap back to retired. I'm pretty sure he's definitely safe, but I don't think many of the drivers are safe, especially, I mean, Kosya could be bumped down to P15. Jaffa Jake's still got another lap to compete with, so yeah, we'll see what this Alfa Romeo can do. Got himself into Q3, surely he can get himself, surely he can get himself into Q3, and he got himself into Q2, so yeah, now he's come around the final corner to start his lap. Make sure you get that rear wing open. Sometimes, I don't know why I forget to open the rear wing, but I do realise eventually. As now he's coming through turn 1. We're right on his onboard as well. Let's be kind to the Alfa Romeo. So now through turns 3 and 4 in the first sector, I think he definitely can push himself up into that top 10. So I think we saw him in the top 10 in Q1. That's 24.8 in the first sector. So that is definitely top 10 worthy. Oh, he's gone wide, and that has ruined his lap. So he'll definitely have to go again if he's got enough fuel. Yeah, he's got loads of fuel left in the tank, so he's really saving up that ERS just for another lap. George, who has to go for another lap himself, is now going to start his possible final lap, unless he fails this one. So through turn 1 he comes in at the Mercedes. We won't keep an eye on him for too long as there's yellow flags, and that is indeed for Liam in the AlphaTauri. Now through turn 4 at the banking. Now the Mercedes needs a really good first sector, so he's going to have some good straight line speed, and he's 2/10 up on his first sector, which is a 24.8. Fouls goes 122.3. So all of the drivers now that are in Q2 have set a lap time. A good 15, no, not 15 minutes, about 12 minutes, 13 minutes. And George looked a bit shaky going on to the throttle, and he's 2/10 up on his middle sector, so not bad at all for the Mercedes. We'll see what he can do round in the penultimate corner. Now, round the final. Oh, he spun. He's going to have to go again. That's unfortunate for the Mercedes of George. So he'll definitely have to go again. Fouls. He's had to go again. And he's invalidated. So he's in right trouble. And Conyo then, anyway, he's now coming through the final sector. We'll see what the Alfa Romeo can do. He's one of the drivers at risks. So, one of the drivers at risk, should I say, put that in better context. And now he comes around the final corner. Is it going to be any nose? What is all of that? What is that line all about? Okay, interesting line from the Alfa Romeo. He's going to be in deep trouble. Kieran is now starting his final lap. I wonder how many sets of tyres he has, to be honest. Fouls, then he'll have to go again. So he's not having any luck in this qualifying session. He's the Alfa Romeo, but he's sticking to the limit this time. We'll see if he can get himself into Q3. Doesn't mess up the entire lap this time, but the penultimate corner and the banking is what he's got to be careful of, especially on the exit. It's this curb here that everyone can get wrong at times. He's getting a bit of slipstream off the Williams here, so this will give him a helping hand to get himself into Q2. Oh, I think he's knocked out. Yeah, I think that is his qualifying over. Liam survives just about. Jaffa Jake, he's knocked out here of qualifying this evening. That's him done. Kossia, he's done. He's just knocked out now. Optimal, and he improved to get himself into Q3. It'll be a real tough task, but I think, well, Kieran goes up to P5 as well, which I missed. Service makes 1-2. See what Optimal can do. In the middle sector, he's 1/10 up in the middle sector, so 1 to 2 tenths up in the middle sector, or should we say 3/4 of 1/10 up on his lap time in the middle sector. Now coming around the final corner, he's got that rear wing open, takes a short line, and P9 is not safe. Conyo is not safe. Liam, I think, yeah, he's knocked out. He's out of qualifying. Fouls, he's knocked out. Kossia, he's knocked out. So Conyo survives, just luckily. Well then, that is Q2 done, and I'll be back for the grid rundown in just a few moments time, while everyone hurries themselves up into the pit lane, unless Sunskeet is actually on a lap. Now, no, he's spun, so yeah, he's wasted it. No, he was on a not a push lap, but yeah, anyway, the grid rundown will be just shortly in a few seconds time. Right then, here is our Q2 rundown then, so we'll just read the bottom 5 and the one who topped Q2. So Sunski is the one who topped Q2. Thomas setting a good lap there actually, splitting the Williams up into a sector. So yeah, Thomas P2. Is that going to happen in Q3? Anyway, the ones that have been knocked out are Leah, Jaffa Jake, Fowles, George and Kossia. Kossia with the worst lap time here in Q2 this evening. So now it's all down to the top 10. See who is going to get pole. It looks very close at the moment for who's going to get pole. Is it Sunski? Is it Thomas? Is it Service? Is it L2? Is it Rated? Is it Kieran? Could be anyone. Could it be Fitz as well? It is very close for the top 10 shootout, which is live in just a moment. We've just got to wait for the game to load into Q3. Now, this will be our final qualifying of tonight, and then we'll move on to the race after these 12 minutes. So it's been an alright qualifying. Could be better, but I'm pretty sure Q3 will be loads more better than qualifying 1 and 2. So see what happens now then, as we're just waiting for the drivers to come out for their first qualifying 3 laps. This is real. This is what you call real pressure. And now it's all down to these drivers now to see what they can do on these final runs here at qualifying. You've only got 2 sets of tyres, 1 or 2 sets of tyres left. You've got to make the most of them. And I think that's Twitch Conyo. No, that is a Williams coming out. So there you go. You've got all the drivers now flying out of their garages just to come out for a lap time, and you can see the unsafe pit release is very deadly on this game. So the driver that has just come out of the garage could just instantly get ahead of you. But people are now starting their out laps, getting ready for the final turns. Twists and turns are about to come up. Unsafe pit release yet again. This game. The fixers also coming out as well. So I don't think the Ferraris have come out actually. Thomas is now coming out himself, so he'll be one of the last ones out. George is also coming out. Now the Ferraris are coming out, which is rated. And L2 is out as well. Well, there was only 2 drivers out. Well, there's still 2 drivers in the pits, and now they're exiting the pits. So we're going to get all drivers that are going to be on out laps. So yeah, this is what you call the twilight phase now of qualifying. This is where all the fastest times are going to start to come in. Service is going to be the first one across the line to start a lap then. So see what he can do. Right on his onboard into turn 2, 3, and now 4. Now through the banking comes the Williams. The Williams has looked strong in qualifying this evening. There's yellow flags. That is for a hold up. That is for the wait to start a lap. The Red Bulls have got to let the Alpine, I'm pretty sure, or the Williams, I think it is Sunsky who is holding them up a little bit, but they are a bit spaced out now, so they're going to start their lap times are going to be the final one. And not the final one actually to come across the line, it was the final one out of the pits. No, I've got that completely wrong. So yeah, anyway, service through the middle sector, obviously purple because he is the first one going to set a lap time. These are going to be only bankers, so don't expect too much on these first runs. Now through the final corner, which is the banking, get that DRS wide open. What's it going to be here for service? It's going to be a 111.3, so there is your first lap here of qualifying. Conio then, he just sneaks himself into Q2. What's it going to be? A 111.9, so optimal goes 111.8, so not bad there at all. L2, he goes 110.8. What a lap there from the Ferrari. Is he looking to get pole position? Vax is stopped on track, so make sure you don't get disqualified, mate. Or else that'll be your qualifying done. Oh, Kieran, he's just gone onto the gravel. He's gone too wide. I think Thomas now is going to come across the line now. And Fitz comes P4, but Thomas goes P4. So it's very spaced out, actually. Sunsky goes 1/10 behind the Ferrari, so that's a 110.9, 55. Kieran now into the pits, so that's him done. Rated, he goes P3, 111.0. So these laps are really getting quick now. So you really need some good pace. So could be closer, but it's not that bad. Vax anyway, he's going to have to complete his lap unless he just dives into the pits. He's invalidated anyway, so he'll just come straight into the pit lane and come absolutely flying in, just full speed ahead into the pit lane. So yeah, fair enough from the Mercedes, but now is the time where everyone is now going to come ahead into the pits and yeah, put a fresh set of soft compound of tyre on. So So yeah, this is now the twilight phase, the proper twilight phase here of qualifying this evening, as we are just on the wait now for racers to get in the pits, and then drivers will shortly come out once again to set a lap time. So I think that's a Mercedes already out to set a new lap. I think that might be Vax actually, but yes, it is Vax. He's the only Mercedes out. That's weird. I think there's a bit of desync there from the game. It says he's on an out lap, but yeah. Anyway, he's now coming out of the pits and going to start his out lap. And he's going to be the first of the people to set a real lap time now, the fastest of the fastest. So yeah, this is now it. Konyo also comes out as well. He thinks he can improve from a 111.9. So they're in at least now 111s. Vax and Kira need to get out and get a lap in. We've got 6 minutes to go here of qualifying this evening, and after those 6 minutes we'll go straight onto the race. There's only ever 3 qualifying, between 1 and 3 qualifyings in the Formula 1 game. In real life there's only ever 3 qualifying, so yeah, people are already going on an out lap with 5 minutes 33 seconds to go. So I think people are going to go out for an early one, but I think the smart people are going to go out at the end. But more pressure is onto you then when you go out toward the end of qualifying. Conio and Vax, they've started their laps. Vax then will ride on his onboard for now as he heads into turn 4 now. The Mercedes now onto the straight. Very easy to get it all wrong, as I've said plenty of times tonight. And now in the first sector, that's 24.991. Not bad for a first sector there. Through the slingshots now. We'll see what else he can do on this lap. As he breaks at the 50-metre board through the hairpin. Now the Mercedes needs a real good run into the end of the middle sector. What is it going to be? It's a 49.6. So that could be in the mix for at least about top 4. Well, he has to nail every single piece now of this track. He's got the banking to go, gets that rear flap open. All he has to do is straight line the car. And it's P5. I thought that we would have been in the top 4 at least, but the top 5 it is for Vax. Konyo as well. He's going to come round the final corner, gets that rear wing open, and we'll see what he can do. It's 2 tenths up, P8 ahead of Optimal. So Kieran now is going to come out for a final lap. So people have actually come out pretty early to start their final laps. Service and rated, they're going to come out much later than anybody else. Sunsky is now going to come around the final corner to start his final lap. I think he was just on a lap, but he failed it, so I think he went wide somewhere, unless that's just me. Set to 125. L2, he goes 110.6. There's a right massive gap now between the two. Suggest rain, that's why people go. Oh, okay, Kieran. Thanks for that, mate. So yeah, it suggests rain. I can't see the weather, so I couldn't know whether people were going out early for some odd reason. But L2 is confident that he's got provisional pole. All he has to do is wait and see. Now, Sunsky, he's got to get a real good lap in. L2 is very confident that he has got pole, but Sunsky needs to get a good lap in. He's down on his middle sector. It's not looking good here for the Williams. Fitz goes P2 with a 110.8. Tomos is slow, so I think that's his qualifying over. Unless Sunsky can do something. What is this camera? And yes, he is down. I don't understand why Sunsuke has pitted. I think Thomas is going to go out for a final lap, and Kieran is on a lap right now. I think he's been through some sort of gravel. I'm not too sure. He's gone a 49.5 in that middle sector. Now he's just got the easy part basically to do. Try not to get it all crossed up through the penultimate corners. Anyway, round the final corner at the banking section, gets that rear wing open. He's finally going to settle up. What's it going to be for Kieran? It's an 11.2, so that puts him P6 for now. Fitz has come diving into the pit lane. Rated then, he's come out. Thomas, he started a lap. I think Kieran has as well. No, he hasn't. I watched him go slow. Service then, what can he do? Can he spoil that Ferrari party and take pole position? Or Williams? Well, that's all down to him. He's got to get a really good lap in. He needs to improve by at least 9 tenths. So, about, no, not 9 tenths. 7 tenths, no? 6 tenths, yeah, 6 tenths. Somewhere around there. Fitz has retired. I think Thomas has as well. Yes, he's just driving into a wall. NPC stuff. Oh, service. That could be it. Unless something happens, he's 2 tenths down. Yeah, that is it for him. Sunsuke, he's going to be too late. It's going to be too late for him to set a lap. So we'll see what else other people can do. Konyo's gone out on mediums, which is interesting. Optimal. It's on the softs. I don't know why Konyo's gone out on the mediums. I mean, it could improve. Sunsuke has finished qualifying for him. So, what can Rated do? That is the main question. He's currently 1.5 tenths up on his middle sector time. It's gone purple apparently. You can't believe the F1 going at times. He needs a real good final sector if he wants to get provisional pole and make it a Ferrari 1-2. What can he do round the final corner now? Is Rated gonna get pole? No, it's P3, but at least it's the second row to at least help his teammate. And Thomas, I think, no, Vax has gone P4, unless that's me. Service, he's done. What can Optimal do? Can he get himself at least a top 8 position? He just doesn't even look that close. Can he get at least P9? That is the main question. What is it? It's P9. Very close though to the top 8. I thought that would have been much wider than expected. But then Service is coming into the pits now, so that is indeed qualifying over here for this evening. So Kieran said suggested rain. There was no rain at all, and well done there, Service. You've retired in the pits. So yeah, he has got P8 then. George has left the session. I'm not sure why, but anyway, we'll go through the grid rundown. So P1 there and L2 in the Ferrari with a 110.6. 1 tenth behind Fitz in the Red Bull with a 110.8. Rated in the Ferrari 110.9. 05. Sunsuke 110.9. 55. Vax 110.9. 95. Thomas 111.0. Kieran 111.2. Service P8 with a 111.3, Optimal P9 with a 111.4, and the slowest of them all in the top 10, which is Konyo with a 111.7, so he'll round off the grid. So L2 is your pole position taker here at Zandvoort, and we'll join you for the race in just a few moments' time. Right then, we're here for the race. Starting in just seconds time. I don't know if it's formation lap, so we just gotta wait and see on that one. Anyway, we've got 2 seconds to go. Is it going to be the formation lap? It is indeed. So the predicted pit stop strategy is either medium hard or soft medium. So I reckon everyone will be going for the one stop here today. There's already a spinner, which is Thomas. Doesn't really matter too much. Tyres there, we'll have a look at the tyres. So most of the grid are starting on the hards, which is decent enough, but yeah, I'd always start on the mediums just in case the safety car comes out, and then obviously the hards can go to the end as far as they want, but very hard to go to the end on any sort of tyre anyway, from about lap 10 onwards, because then you have to do 26 laps on a set of hards, so yeah, that could be quite impossible, but they're the hard tyres, so you never know what they can do. But anyway, the only ones on mediums is Fitz, Thomas, George, and Eweg, and XPG Dylan has also joined us as well. He'll be starting P18. So just gotta wait for this formation lap to finish, and then we'll go to the 5 red lights, and we'll begin our first lap here at Zandvoort. Well then, so the drivers are now lining up, so it is looking like it will be Ferrari against Red Bull, as it was in real life in Formula 1. As I said as well, if you want to go to PlayStation Tier 3, it is also live right now, also on YouTube. We are live on YouTube also, so on the same channel. So, yeah, drivers are now waiting for the final preparations. Now the drivers are lined up. We are at 5 red lights. It's lights out, and away we go. Unless, yeah, it is lights out, and away we go. Pedal to the metal here in SCRL, and it is L2 with a fantastic start there. Suzuki also with a great start. There's a pile up into turn 1. I'm not sure that was what that was all about, but it was absolutely massive. That a lot of the drivers lost a lot of the places, and L2 with a good start as well. Same with Sunsky as well. So very good starts from them. Fitz got a terrible start going into turn 1. He's now down into P5. Rated also didn't get the best of starts either. Thomas also got a good start as well, so the medium runners did not get the best of starts. Thomas, he's gone for a spin, so it's really not a good start for the medium runners. George has left, he's been disqualified, don't know what that was all about, but we have got a DSQ here at the Dutch Grand Prix. And we're hoping to see some battles here tonight. And anyway, we are going to complete the first lap here at Zandvoort. Is the ERS going to get used a little bit there from Sunsky, trying to get L2 into turn 1? No, L2 gets the fastest lap, of course, because he was the first one to come across the line. And Conio has a speeding penalty, so he'll get a 5-second time penalty for that. There is a lot of people into the pits for at least a new front wing. It is Conio, Lewis, Dylan and Kieran May. So yeah, Fitz is looking to gain some places back after that poor start, so we're going 1 place back. That was because of the Thomas spin. Very unlucky start there for the Haas driver, and also for the Red Bull driver. So it's the medium runners that got the terrible start. The hard runners got an amazing start. So are the hards really worth it around this circuit? I really do wonder. It's a one race wonder. for a set of tyres. I mean, the hards were very good on this game anyway. I mean, the last game they weren't so good, but there's the command final from that to end the second lap. And DRS is now going to be available on L2. Get a 114 point band on 5. So DRS is now officially enabled by the FIA. And now this is now the point that the overtaking will start. But Sunski is losing a lot of time to L2. Is now 5 tenths behind, as there's a yellow flag running around in the final sector. I think that is for Eric in the McLaren, or XPG Dylan. I'm pretty sure that was for XPG Dylan, who spun in the final sector, because Eric is in the pits, so got that all wrong there. Anyway, the DRS is going to be used for the first time in this Grand Prix from Sunski then. Kieran has also not finished. He has decided to retire in the pit lane. There's yellow flags in sectors 2 and 3. There's a spinner of Thomas, I think. Yeah, it is Thomas. Anyway, rated is, I think we've got a glitch with the delta. So, interval, there we go, we fixed the issue. And yeah, so 4 tenths behind is Sunski to L2, rated 5 tenths behind Sunski. So the top 3 still within it. Oh, there's an absolute massive lunge. Oh no, that's just the back marker of Kieran, who's waiting to retire. I thought that was a massive lunge there, but yeah, my fault on that one. I think Fitz is right on the rear of rated, so he could look for a move, as there's yellow flags in sector 3 once again. Green flags this time, and Thomas has headed into the pits, and Rax is looking for a move on Fitz as well, but the gaps are still within the DRS, so it's very close racing. So that's, I'm guessing that's why it's called Super Close Racing League. But yeah, Sunski, there's not a lot of overtaking opportunities in this one. It's very hard to overtake because you're getting a nice little drone view, as Sunski is losing quite a bit of time actually to L2 as we now enter the 5th lap of this Grand Prix. Thomas has retired. That is actually on track, and it is a safety car. We got our first safety car of the race. It only took us 4 laps, and we're now on the 5th lap of this Grand Prix, and we've still got plenty more laps to go. So it's 36 laps that people have to get through it, and we're only on the 5th, and there is our first safety car. So while the drivers catch up to the safety car, I mean, that start was... there was a massive pile-up, but that's good for the action, for the viewers. Yeah, it was absolutely carnage going into turn 1. But now this brings the racing a bit more closer now, because the safety car has come out, and Sunski was losing a bit of time, not a lot, but a bit of time to L2 in the Ferrari. So the fight for the race win is looking like Ferrari versus Williams. Where have we seen that before? I'm guessing the Prost Senna days, unless that was McLaren and Williams and Ferrari. So yeah, as we enter the 6th lap, then we've got 30 laps to go of this Dutch Grand Prix. And now the drivers are now, they have now caught up to the safety car, so still no lap cars in this one. We've got to wait quite a while actually till we can go racing. The minimum for a safety car is 2 laps, the maximum is 5 laps, so we could be waiting a while here until we go racing again. so we'll be back on between lap 7 and lap 11. So the safety car taking its time a little bit. So I mean, it's good if it slows down, because then the guys that are really far behind, they can catch up then. I mean, they've already gone into the pit lane anyway, because you can see 3 lap olds, 0 lap old, 1 lap old, 4 laps old, and the guys that are out or disqualifications. Thomas, Kieran and George with the disqualifications, so don't know whether that will be classed as a DNF, but that's just the game in general. But hopefully we're not waiting here too long as we enter now the 7th lap of this Grand Prix. Don't necessarily need a tyre anymore. As we wait anyway for Lewis, Ewig, Conio and Dylan, we wait for them. But yeah, we just gotta wait till we go back to green flag racing. Hopefully this is our only safety car for tonight. And we've just gotta wait for the drivers, as I've already said. We've got Lewis and Eweg, who have now caught up to the safety car. So now this will bring the pack closer. This will hopefully bring the class. Can't get my words out. This will hopefully bring the pack much closer and all within the DRS. So the guys that have already boxed, they'll have to do another one. So at least they've caught up to half the grid, anyways. So then really sure that they can do another stop in this one, because their tyres will definitely not go to the end of this one. There's now the safety car. It can end at the end of lap 8. So Sunsky and L2 are going wheel to wheel under the safety car. Obviously not racing wheel to wheel, but something like Abu Dhabi 2021. Verstappen just wanted to get on with it and wanted the safety car. Well, wanted Hamilton to come across the line so they can go racing again. But we're here in Zandvoort for Super Close Racing League, so it's completely different to in real life F1. So now that all the cars have caught up, we can go back to green flag racing. So hopefully we can experience some overtakes. Not people just being scared to go on the inside of anyone. But yeah, there will be a bit of a DRS train now. Well, we've got to wait till lap 10 till the DRS reopens. Lap 10, lap 11 till the DRS reopens. Safety car is in this lap then. So we can go back to green flag stuff. And the green flags have arose, so we've got to wait till we cross the line. Well, we've got to wait till L2 crosses the line, so overtakes can begin. But who's going to get that better start? I think L2's got off already. No, he hasn't. He's waiting a bit longer. We'll see what he can do now. Will L2 get off unexpectedly? You can see all the drivers now. Then now we go underway. Look at the wrong camera. Will Sunsky send it on the inside? He thought about it. He's gone a little bit wide, so that could open a bit of a gap there. Fitz has gone down the order a little bit. He's ghosted, so yeah, he'll definitely go down the order quite a little bit. There's lots of contact between Fowles and Liam. So I'll definitely go down to the FIA. And that is just an awful collision. That could end up being another safety car. Ewig has gone down to P15 himself service. And Fowles, they're now battling it out. There's no safety car once again. So green flags. We go again. So more contact at the back. But at the front, it's all quite clean. And yeah, Rated has lost a second to Sunski. But Sunski is keeping on that rear of L2, so this will be very crucial for him. This could really pay off toward the end of this race. You can see he's riding every single curve that he can to gain some extra time on the Ferrari. So now the final corner. Are we gonna get the DRS back open? I think we will. Like lap 10 or lap 11. And no DRS as of yet, so we've got to wait for lap 11 for the DRS to rearrange itself and open. Now Fowles gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding. I think that is a DNF and a retirement for the Alfa Romeo, because I'm pretty sure he wouldn't speed so much in the pit lane. But he might keep on going, but this now brings the pack closer. Dylan, who started P8, is now P18 is now P8. So really can't get my words out tonight. As there's yellow flags and Liam's retired on track. That could bring out another safety car. Is it gonna? That's the main question. I think he's just retired on the track, so I think we are carrying on for now. Fowles just needs to overtake Liam, and yeah, he's retired on the track, so nothing he would have wanted there. But Rated now, who's just got the fastest lap of the race, so no, Service just got the fastest lap of the race, 1:13.9. So the Williams are taking everything away here from Ferrari this evening. But Rated is going to look for a move, but also Sunski, he will have that DRS as well to play with, so it will be very hard for overtaking. I think Ferrari will look to finish for a 1-2, and Conyo's retired as well. And VSC maybe? Yeah, VSC, so we're back in just a second, guys, hold on. Anyway, back to the racing. DRS has been re-enabled. Luckily I got back just in time for green flags. So, yep, lap 12 out of 36. And yeah, there are bigger gaps than ever now. So, is this the boring part of the race where we're going to get no overtake? Oh no! No, okay, lag, desync, okay. Fair enough from F1 on that one. Okay, Service now. He's looking at the back of Dylan, who's lost a place on that restart. He must have been caught up in an incident or something like that. But he'll look for a move on the McLaren. So Dylan needs to get a move on. Yeah, he's now looking through the final sector now. I think Rated, Sunski and L2, they're going to be pretty much spread out now. L2 has got the DRS, same with Sunski, but you can see Rated is getting so much closer to that Williams. I think it's time now that Ferrari get that 1-2, which could be actually crucial. But Vax, he's made up some places here for Mercedes as well. Oh, that's Fitz going a little bit wide. That could cost him a little bit. And Jaffa Jake will look for something here on the Red Bull. So yeah, Brated is now gaining more time here on the Williams. Sundskeet losing time to L2, so not what the Williams really want in this one. Who's going to be faster on the medium compound though? That's going to be the main question. So we'll see what happens between now and then. We'll see what happens between the future and now. So, oh, Sunskeet's gone. He's gone and spun. That makes it a Ferrari 1-2 now. Vax is also on the podium. Williams bottling it. Is he going to get that comeback drive? Who knows? Rated now 1.1 seconds behind L2. But does Vax have any pace on those hards in the Mercedes? We saw in real life that the Mercedes around the Dutch Grand Prix, they had some quality pace on the hards. So yeah, there's yellow flags, and that is Dylan indeed. Service, and Sundskeet now 8 and 9, so it's a Ferrari 1-2, Williams 8 and 9. So Fitz now still in the DRS of Optimal, and Sundskeet is going to get ahead here of Kostya. I think Kostya was an AI for, well, not an AI, I think he was ghosted for a second there, but Sundskeet now up into P7, so he's looking to get back up the field after that pure horrible mistake that he made. Fitz now getting so much closer to optimal, so this could really pay off for him. So we'll see what happens as we are on the 15th lap out of 36 here at Zandvoort. We've still got a long way to go. A long way to go. We've only got 13 runners left here in Tier 1 this evening. I think Tier 3 are on about the 18th lap. So on. Yeah. The Fitz is just going to try and get a move done here on the Aston Martin. Red Bull needs some quality points here this evening. So that would really pay off for him. Ferrari looking very strong at the moment. Looking at that 1-2. And the Fitz is going to get that DRS. Open is going to get that slipstream. Is there going to be a battle here between Aston Martin and Red Bull? And you can see there they've made a little bit of contact as the Red Bull goes on the inside here of the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin has to give up. And Optimal and Fitz with a great battle there. Good inside move. And Optimal switch backs him. And Optimal back up into P4 unless Fitz has just let him by. Not too sure on that. But Fitz has gone wide. And that would have costed him a lot of time indeed. So not what the Red Bull wants, but I think main is just to keep on is these two. They seem to have the battle of their lives at the moment, and Optimal will be quicker toward the end, so it's good if he defends now to give him more time when he goes into the pits. So now Fitz then is going to come around the final corner, and he's going to start his 17th lap. But as you can see now, he's going to get that DRS, and you can see that Red Bull straight line speed. It's going to defeat the Aston Martin into turn 1. The Red Bull is now officially ahead of the Aston Martin. So the Aston Martin gave it its all. That's all I'm saying. As this time, Fitz does not go wide. That's the banking corner. Real life F1 drivers use the outside line of that bank. I'm not too sure why actually. I think it gains them more time in real life, but in the game, it gains you more time to go on the inside line. So, yeah. As you can see, Optimal is losing time, and now Sunski is getting closer now to. He's getting close now to Jaffa J. We'll see what else he can do. As Service and Kostya have a battle, and Service is now up into P8. You can see those mediums are really paying off at the moment. After Sunski, anyway, he couldn't get past the Alpine, and he's taken a wider approach and takes the inside approach at the exit of the corner. So, is that the way to go by in this Grand Prix? Is it the outside line on the entry and then the inside line on the exit? That could gain you a bit more time, but who knows anyway. So we've got 18 laps to go. We're halfway through this Grand Prix, and Sunski's trying to go on the inside. Didn't work quite well at the exit of the airpin. You can see how low he is on the ERS. That could cost him a bit of time. Going right over that curb could cost him a lot of race time. But it gains you a bit of time. You can easily spin if you don't get the corner right. Now, this is an absolute fantastic overtaking opportunity. You can see now it's not going to be enough. Is that rain? Did I just see rain? Yeah, is there a crossover period? And yes, there is rain. So there was rain forecasted after all in this Grand Prix. There was a yellow flag in sector 1. It's Fitz on a spinner. And he's got no front wing. He might box for intermediates anyway to try the risk. Because now it's going to turn into a wet race. And you can see there are drips of rain coming down here at the Dutch Grand Prix here in the Netherlands. And you can see Arctic Sunski and Jaffa Jake, they have battled it out here for P5. And Sunski goes up into P5 very nicely there. And Jaffa Jake goes deep with a snappy oversteer, gets the DRS as well, and he's now down into P8. Kostya now up into P7. He gets a free position off that, but Jaffa Jake can always push hard to get himself back up into P7. I think he was going to lose the place anyway to Service. You can see how quick the Williams drivers are compared to the rest of the grid. I think Rated is catching up to L2, so we could see a Ferrari scrap here. Hopefully we don't get something like Mercedes 2016, where Hamilton and Rosberg collided back in Spain 2016. There was a lot of rivalry back in those days, but I don't think it's the way with these two, because they might be giving each other some DRS. Who knows? But and now the Inters are popping on here for the Red Bull. You can see that risk he is taking, in case it does turn dry again, but it's just not wet enough for the Inters as of yet. Obviously there's no sand in an F1 game, so I mean there can be a lot of sand at Zandvoort. And Fowles is now into the pit lane. He's coming toward the exit of the pit lane. We'll see what the tyres are like. Two people are currently on a set of intermediates. I can see what they are doing here, and it can be quite smart. Oh, you can see Lewis there getting the snap of oversteer. I mean, I haven't really talked about him too much tonight, The only time I really talked about him was him getting knocked out in Q1, but hopefully that doesn't happen for him again. He's definitely good at other tracks, though. I can say that. I've raced against him before. So, service, as you can see. He's looking. Oh, you can see the Williams team game. But they're going to battle it out here, actually. And yeah, I'd understand what Sunski has done there. Just let through his teammate, because you know he's on them mediums. He will go faster. And rated as well. He's currently the faster Ferrari. They're both on the hards, actually, the Ferraris. So yeah, and Uig has a 3-second time penalty. And there's yellow flags, and that's forfeit. He's decided to call it a day, and yeah, that's unfortunate for him. But yeah, we have got our first set of 3-second time penalties, and that is from Uig in the McLaren. So there you have the first set of penalties for tonight. So we have about 6 drivers out of this race, including the disqualification that the FIA gave at the start of this race. But now you can see the rain, it's just not falling down quick enough. It's not sticking to the surface, and the rain it's just not there at all for the drivers to go on a set of inters. But I think the service and Uig, they have gone onto a set of intermediates, and there's a front wing change now for the McLaren. So this could really pay off for Williams, actually, as Sunski is ahead now of Optimal, who has spun. So he's took a trip to the gravel or the grass, wherever, what part, depends on what part of the track you're on. Like this part, it's mainly all grass here. Still can spin unless you decide to turn your wheel absolutely crazy, but I think there are yellow flags for a Williams, believe it or not. The RS is disabled now, so yeah, it was the Williams off service. You can see the inters are not really paying off at the moment, but they will do toward the end. Rated Sunski is now into the pits. You can see the rain is just not sticking to the surface still. We've got 13 laps to go, and the rain is just not sticking to the surface. It's just not there for the drivers at all. You can see now the Williams comes out of the pits, P5, Jaffa Jake, Optimal, Lewis. Oh, they've had to double stack Aston Martin. They've had to double stack for a set of inters. And you can see how much time it is costing them at the moment. It's cost the Aston Martin a lot of time and well, not a lot of position. Well, he didn't lose any positions under that pit stop, but it would have cost him a lot of time to get ahead of some drivers. So P8 is probably all the Aston Martin can do here tonight. The service has boxed for another set of inters. That is definitely for a front wing change, and that could have really scuffed his race. And oh, L2 gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and the rule going on to the inters now. Now this is the crossover change for a different set of tyres. So yeah, this is really it at the moment. Vax has also boxed, Kostya's also boxed. Sunski gets himself back up into P4, but this is all I'm guessing now. This is the boring part of the race, where we just have to sit back for a little bit. So yeah, but race is going to come in anyway. You can see it's now only starting to stick to the surface. I mean, you know what Zandvoort is really like. It's very hard on a crossover change, because you don't know when the rain is going to stick to the surface. So, I mean, I've said that plenty of times tonight, but it is what it is. It's life when you go from a dry from a dry day to a wet day, or maybe if you call it Formula 1 terms, from a dry track to a wet track. So yeah, Rated has come into the box for a new set of inters. They'll be actually quite close actually to L2. It's not very close at all coming out of the pit lane. You can see it is about, oh, Vax has gone ahead, the undercut has worked, and Eweg has gone deep. What for? It's a safety car. Is it only virtual though? I think it's only virtual for now, but now we've only got 11 runners left in this race. So, and Lewis has retired at the same time. It's a four-quarter safety car. Now the race is going to get closer. And you can see now the safety car has just come out. We've only got 10 runners left in this race, with 11 laps to go. And yeah, service has come in again. This has really gone terrible. It has gone terrible. This is just going on to a new set of inters. I think he is. I think it might be a fresh set actually. So I wonder how many pair of well, he'll have 3 sets of inters, so he'll have the freshest set. If I'm wrong, if I'm not wrong, he's done 4 stops tonight. Same with Dylan. So yeah, he's on a fresh set of inters now. And the only problem is, oh, I can see what L2's doing actually. He's doing his 5-second penalty pit stop, so he can get it out of the way. So now Vax has a chance of winning this here on the intermediates after the crossover change. You can see L2 is now going to try. Oh, it might not be enough actually. They're going wheel to wheel out of the pit lane, and Jaffa Jake has done it ahead, unless he will have to give the position back. I'm not too sure, but he was ahead of L2 coming out of the pit lane. So now this should bring the racing closer, hopefully, because now the guys are caught up to the safety car. We've just got to wait until the safety car actually ends. And we're racing once again. So we'll wait for that. So we'll wait for the safety car to end, and we can get back racing again. But the only problem is waiting for the safety car. There are a lot of drivers. Service has in how right, okay, he's boxed 5 times now in this race. 5 times. I mean, don't get me wrong, you'll still get a point. Don't retire if you're gonna get a point. Don't press the retire button if you're gonna get a point. Don't ever do it. It's really pointless. It's a point at the end of the day. It's not like it's gonna damage. It's not like it's gonna damage your car. So anyway, we are now just waiting for service to catch up, and hopefully he can do a bit of a comeback drive, this, that, the other. I mean, Sunsky, he has done well to get back up into P3. He's only done the 1 stop. People have done 5 stops today, so yeah, he's done well to do the 1 stop after a spin. So yeah, we'll not focus on pit stops for now. Actually, we'll look at the position changes. So I can't give driver of the day to him so far. He's gained 10 positions. What from? He hasn't really made any moves tonight, but I won't give it to him anyway. Vax has done very well, but let's not focus on that. So yeah. But waiting for service and fouls to catch up. Dylan is now catching up now. And L2's boxed again. Same with Dylan as well. Oh, full wet. Hold on a minute. Full wet. Is it really time? This crossover is absolutely mad. Does that mean if service will have to do 6 stops? That is unbelievable. I mean, anyway, he'll still get points unless he bins it in a wall. But you know, 8 laps to go then of this. So you know, just gotta wait for the guys to catch up. I mean, service stays out. Dylan and L2, they're on full wets, and the rest are on intermediates now. So just gotta wait and see what happens, because the safety car is in this lap. Service has took too long. L2 spun. Wow. Well, service is not going to be able to catch up. Unless, slow down a little bit, but he's not going to catch up. Because they're now coming around the final. Corner. They're now going to restart this race. Rated and Vax. They're going to try and go wheel to wheel. As you can see, he's trying to break the toe. Rated. Going to try and go around the outside here into turn 1. They go. And Rated's gone a little bit wide for Sunsky to capitalise on something. And Rated just about keeps the position. There's a big massive scrap at the back here between Costa, Jackie Jake and Optimal. And Optimal trying to do something as Jackie Jake and Costa are going side by side. Oh, they make contact. And Costa might as well just finish the race just for some points at least for himself and Haas. But service will now come up to P8. That's the end of the battling for down below for now, as the race has become more spread out once again. So this is a very weird race, I can't lie. And yeah, lap 29 out of 36. We've got 7 laps to go here at the Dutch Grand Prix. And gets a little bit of oversteer there. So yeah, it costed him a little bit of time, but I think that's it then. Unless, is it going to be full wets? That is the main question as we enter the 30th lap of this Grand Prix. Is it going to be full wet conditions? Because L2 and Dylan, they've gone on to full wet, and you can see now that it's really getting wetter and wetter for it to be a set of full wets. But we'll see as we go on, as I think that was fouls trying to go on the inside here of Optimal. Would have been a very nice move. Very risky to make that sort of move, but indeed would have been very nice. As Kostia coming to the box for a fresh set of Vinters. So yeah. Unless, yeah, it's a set of intermediates. As Dylan gets a 3-second time penalty under his name, so we no longer have the first. Well, we never had the first penalty. Well, this wasn't the first penalty anyway, so yeah. Yeah, this is now kind of the boring point of this one. And as well, guys, if you want to go to tier 3, feel free to do so. There's also a race going on there, although lap they're currently on. They are currently on lap 32, we're currently on lap 31, so they've got a lot of the drivers left. Meanwhile, we've only got 10 left, so I think their race is much better than ours. But I'm not saying this race is any bad at all. I mean, it's been then and again pretty boring because, and Jaffa Jake, I thought he was getting oversteer there, but yeah, I think this is now the boring point. But although we talk about this race, so qualifying 1 wasn't too much special. Qualifying 2, we saw a few drivers go out when again, and yeah, Q3 L2 he got pole position for this one, and yeah, he is now P9. So our race leader currently is Vax, who's currently leading by 6 as we enter the 32nd lap out of 36. We've got 4 laps to go here in this one, and it's actually raining in PlayStation Tier 3 as well. I didn't realise that. I don't know whether there was a crossover change over there as well, but I think now Fowles is going to try and get onto something here on Optimal. No, I don't think he is, so yeah, I think this is all that is it. And there's yellow flags, and it's for Kossia. Yeah, he's gonna have to turn his car around, which is never a task to do, so yeah. And anyway, there has been something because Fowles has spun, and this will give Service a chance now. Oh, it's a VSC. So will it go to a full force safety car? And as you can see now, they're all diving into the pit lane. Fowles gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's not good at all. And it is going to be only a virtual safety car. So yeah, pretty boring that. Could have had a full course. That would have been nice. I mean, there's already been 2 safety cars anyway tonight, so. And L2 gets another 5-second time penalty. I think now it is full wet conditions. Kossia stays out on. Yeah, people are staying out on the inters. It's their favourite tyre at the moment, but you can see the wets are more comfortable at the moment. And it's green racing once again. And Vax is currently now 9/10 ahead of Rated, as it was at the end of the start of the VSC, sorry, but now it is the same as the end. But now Kossia's in the pits. You can see the Inter runners are now struggling, but they will want to go to the end. There's no point boxing now for a new set of tyres, because it's just pretty pointless as we enter the 34th lap of this Grand Prix. Now we're going to the end point now of this one. So 2 laps to go. Dylan ahead of Jaffa Jake into turn 1. He gets up into P4, but he needs to hurry up with his penalty because he'll drop back down to P5, so it's not what Dylan wants. So I'll give him out my driver of the day on the final lap, but we're not quite there. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. I'm not sure who it is for. It's for Kossia, who is being lapped. I'm pretty sure he'd fancy being lapped anyway to get the race done much earlier. He'll still get a point anyway for himself. But yeah, he's tried his best to stay in the race, and he's kept himself in the race anyway. So you can see Vax looks much more comfortable on these inters than Rated, but you can see how much slower they are compared to the full wets at the moment, because now it's turned into a real full wet race. And as we now enter with 2 laps to go here at the Dutch Grand Prix, so still could be more action to go, but you can see Rated is losing more and more time. I think it's in the final 2 sectors he loses the time. I think in the first sector he gains a bit, but then starts to lose it from now on. Dylan ahead of Sunsky, so he's made a real good deal of himself, so he'd like to finish on the podium here this evening. You can see the Inter runners now, they're going to struggle. But can the Inter runners do it? Now this has turned really interesting actually, because now Dylan, he can get himself extra points. He can get himself 3 extra points as long as he finishes 3 seconds ahead. So we'll use a bit of his battery. But now you can see Rated and Vax, they're losing plenty of time at the moment. So this has really turned interesting now. Obviously no DRS to play with, but you can see now on the final lap we go to them. But firstly I'm going to give out my driver of the day to Vax, because he's done very well tonight. He gave it his all. Dylan gets a snap of oversteer, so that could cost a P2 for him. So it looks like if Vax keeps this up, he will win this Grand Prix. And Dylan is going to get ahead. This is really it now. It's all come down to this final lap here at the Netherlands between the McLaren and the Mercedes. And now Costa's being lapped and he's spun, so that makes matters even worse. But you can see Dylan, he's 3/10 behind here at this Dutch Grand Prix of Vax. He'll want to keep this lead, he'll want to win, but Dylan is going to go on the outside. He's going to take the lead, but net Vax is going to go on the inside and make a little bit of contact. As you can see there, Dylan has to go on the gravel to make more contact, and Vax has to give up P1. But Dylan, if he might not win. No, he's going to come round the final corner. He's gave it his all. Dylan on the track. Oh, gets a big snap of oversteer. Gets a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting anyway, and gaining 1 place, but he wins on the road. Vax is your winner at the Dutch Grand Prix. Dylan will not get a podium. Sunsky will though, so yeah, he had 8 seconds worth of penalties, but that will all go down to the steward's room because Vax sent it on the inside pretty nastily there. And yeah, Dylan had indeed possibly lost his win because Vax sent it on the inside. But Vax is your winner at the Dutch Grand Prix. And we're waiting for one to finish now. Yeah, goofy hour conditions indeed. From full dry conditions to full wet conditions, so we're waiting for L2 now, the pole sitter, to come across the line. He's going to come home in P9. Still 2 points for the Ferrari. It's better than nothing, but it's not what he wants. So he's going to have to stick with it until next Sunday. So, we'll go through the grid rundown. Driver of the day according to EA and Codemasters, it is Dylan, but Vax is my driver of the day. Very good drive as well from Dylan. He definitely deserved it from the game. He went from last to fourth. We're not gonna go through the podium celebrations. We're gonna go through the good rundown, and that will be the end of the stream. As now it turns dry. So yeah, now so our race winner, who started on P5, one stop, it is Vax Mercedes on top. Finally at the Dutch Grand Prix, rated P2 in the Ferrari, Sunski P3 in the Williams, P4 Dylan, because he had 8 seconds worth of penalties, he had to give up a win on the final lap. He had so much pace as well. He finishes P4 in the McLaren, service P5 in the Williams. Williams had a very strong race. They are your constructors winners at the Dutch Grand Prix. Overall constructors winners here. Alpine, Jaffa Jake P6, Optimal in the Aston Martin P7, Fowles P8 in the Alfa Romeo, L2 P9 in the Ferrari, P10 Kostya in the Haas, Lewis, Ilwig, Fitz, Conio, Liam, Thomas, Kieran and George, they did not finish the race. George actually got a disqualification from the game. So all the runners that finished, they all got points, and Kostya had been lapped. So anyway, guys, that is it from me tonight. So yeah, it's going to end the stream. A bit of a boring race, but hopefully they can work on it for next time round. The Dutch Grand Prix is never a fun race to watch, but yeah, it is what it is, unfortunately. But yeah, that is it from us tonight at SCRL Super Close Racing League here in Tier 1 and Tier 3 as well, which was streamed. Not sure who won that race, but you'll have to go check it out later on. But that is it from me tonight, and yeah, I'm going to go now, so see you a lot later. Goodbye.